عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Well, where have we been last lecture? I think we are in scene 5, right? So, first of all, write down your name on a piece of paper. Here is the paper. And second, عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. تفضل. المسائي واحد والصباحي واحد.
السلام
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. تفضلوا عين. تفضل. سجل التاريخ. You have asked about, first of all, the morning class. You have asked about summarizing the play, or not giving more lectures, or you mean to economize the play, to summarize it, right? The lectures. So I'm going to give you lectures on Monday, and on Thursday you are having another lecture. It is going to be questions and answers. Yes. I'm going to give you an assignment, certain questions, and you are going to answer them. By that you are going to revise what we have discussed concerning the play. In addition to that, of course, I am going to summarize for you certain speeches in the play. The speeches that are not going to be quite important, they are going to be excluded. They will not be included as speeches that are required from you in the exam. Only you are going to get the summary of them, the events of them. So, where have we been last lecture? Which speech?
Scene 6.
Scene 6? Well, regarding the evening class, they have reached scene 2. They have reached the second part of scene 2. So, from scene 2, we are going to know, the evening class, we are going to know that there will be another traitor who is the Thane of Cawdor. That Thane of Cawdor is going to be exchanged to Macbeth. So Macbeth has become the new Thane of Cawdor. That's why in scene 3 he is going to be having many asides because of the great deep conflict within himself. He is going to be surprised that how fast the prophecies of the witches have been achieved. The first two prophecies. So he is really hoping that the third prophecy is going to be achieved too. So what will he do? He knows quite well that such a prophecy of becoming a king is not going to be achieved, especially after he has known that that Malcolm, the son of the king, is announced to be the Prince of Cumberland. It means he has been the heir to the throne. He is going to be the king thereafter. The king after the original king, the King Duncan. So, as he can see that it is impossible for him to be a king, so he has thought of committing a crime. That's why he is asking the stars to hide their fires. He is asking the lights to be switched off. It means that he has got an evil intention inside him. He is going to kill the king even before seeing Lady Macbeth. So what about the 40 numbers of the evening class? Won't you phone them, contact with them? They say that they are 40 students. Where are they? The evening class. I think they do not know in which room we are, perhaps. Okay. So then, in scene 4, again, the asides of Macbeth go on, and Macbeth is seen as being wrapped withal, quite obsessed with the idea of the murder of the King Duncan, or quite his mind is fully occupied with achieving the third prophecy of the witches. That's why Banquo is going to ask, "My lord, we are waiting for your leisure." And he is going to ask pardon from them, to ask forgiveness, and he will tell them that, "Excuse me, gentlemen, my mind is fully obsessed with things forgotten." While in reality, we are going to say that this speech of him is carrying an irony, and it is carrying a hypocrisy, because in reality, his mind is fully obsessed with something that is quite serious. Where is that speech? "Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered." So we have scene 3, right? In scene 3, we have page 25, Act 1, scene 3, the line number 149. Macbeth, in the middle of the page, you have got this speech, which is important. Why? It is carrying images. First, he says, "Give me your favor." It means pardon me for being late for you. Why? Because he has been busy with himself in his asides, thinking about how to kill the king and become a king instead. So he is saying, "My dull brain was busy with things forgotten." What he says here is really a lie. What he says here is a kind of hypocrisy. It is an example of hypocrisy, not saying the truth. He seems to show hypocrisy here. He is not saying the truth. You have known that his mind is fully obsessed with the idea of how to become a king. So, from the beginning of the play, before even speaking with Lady Macbeth about the witches' prophecies, Macbeth is showing kinds of hypocrisy. He knows how to be hypocrite, right? So this speech is carrying an irony. Have you got the irony? Yes. The irony is that Macbeth is saying that I am thinking with certain silly matters, trivial matters. But the reality is that he is thinking of something that is quite serious. It is going to change the life of him and the life of the whole Scotland, the whole people of Scotland. Because he is going to fall down, and his fall is going to affect the whole population of the country. Well, then he tells them that, "Kind gentlemen, your pains are going to be registered, where every day I am going to turn the leaf just like this in order to read them." What does he mean by that? Here he is using book imagery. He is saying that the trouble of Ross and Angus coming and telling him that he has become the Thane of Cawdor is really recorded in his own book, in his own diary book. That every day he is going to turn the page, the leaf or the paper, in order to alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, alaykum salam, in order to remember their pains or their trouble or their favor It means that he is showing his great gratitude to those two friends. So here rises, or here lies the theme of gratitude, of showing gratitude. He is very grateful to his friends. So he has recorded, he means, of course, he is not going to write it down literally. The meaning is not going to be taken literally. It is going to be taken figuratively. What's wrong with you, Annie? Okay. Is it clear? Here is an example of book imagery. Scene 4 is going to speak about the execution of the Thane of Cawdor, who is going to ask forgiveness from the king, and then he is going to die. So he has died a heroic death. So he is another example of fair is foul and foul is fair. First, he has been courageous, brave, a grand person, a heroic person. Then he turns to be a traitor, just like MacDonald. After that, he turns to be repenting his deed, and he returns to be a good soldier again, asking forgiveness from the king. The story of him is considered a subplot. It is an imitation to the original story, to the original plot of the play Macbeth. So it is going to tell us that there is another example of subplot, and there is another example of foreshadowing. The story of him is going to echo the story of Macbeth.
But just the opposites.
How? How will Macbeth be the opposite?
You see, there's the theme of
There will be the theme of appearance and reality.
against the reality.
Yes?
Thane of Cawdor
Appears to be disloyal.
disloyal, but he repents at the end. While Macbeth is just the opposite. He seems to be from the appearance just like loyal to his country and be a brave and
Yes.
At the end he will be a traitor just like him. I guess.
Will you agree? Will you agree with what? Are you Amal?
Yes.
With what Amal has said? Do you agree? Do you agree? Yes?
Yes, because
Yes, you do. The evening class. What about the morning class?
Yes.
No. Why?
Because Macbeth, future of Macbeth is just like the futures of the Thane of Cawdor. Both of them were Thane of Cawdor, and both of them turned to be a traitor.
Yes,
So
that's right.
They have the same future.
Are you Safa or Marwa?
Yes, suffer.
Safa Talal.
Yes.
Right? You can see that later on you are answering in this way because you have not read the speech of Duncan, the idea of Duncan, when he is going to say that he was a man on whom I have built an absolute trust. The King Duncan is going to say, to comment on the previous Thane of Cawdor, that he was a trustworthy person, a person who has been great, who has been loyal and faithful. So, the Thane of Cawdor has been good first, then he becomes a traitor, then he returns to his goodness again by showing his great repentance. Yes? Your name?
the Thane of Cawdor.
Yes?
You know that just both of them are traitors, but the Thane of Cawdor before his death, he asked
Yes.
forgiveness from the king.
Yes.
While Macbeth was
Macbeth will not ask forgiveness from the king at the end. The king will be dead, but Macbeth is going to ask forgiveness within himself. He is going to have a conflict. He is going to repent. he will say that better be with the dead whom we have sent to rest, rather than be tortured here. And he will say, here lays Duncan, and here lays Banku, and etc. It means that he is going to be envious to the dead persons, like the assassinated King Duncan, whom Macbeth has assassinated, and Banku, whom Macbeth also has killed. He is going to be envious to them. He is going to wish that he would be Duncan, resting in his grave, dead and sleeping, resting in his grave, or he would be Banku. It means that he is going to show a great repentance. Yes? Iman Ali? Yes?
From the beginning, before he committed the sin of killing the king, he knows that this crime, killing the king, is a crime, and that's wrong.
Yes,
So
yes.
From the beginning, he has a conflict in
Yes,
himself.
yes,
Because
that's
he
right.
knows This crime or this killing the king, we know that is wrong, and killed because the king is a good person, and anyone who kill him.
Yes, that's right. So it means that from the very beginning, when he is going to think of killing the king with his wife, he is going to think about the matter many times, to think thoroughly about the matter, and that's why he will say that he is not going to kill the king. It means that the conflict is there in him. It means that the goodness is there in him, inside him. He has got goodness, just as that Thane of Cawdor has turned to his goodness again. Right. So that's why we say that the story of the Thane of Cawdor, what is its relation to the original plot of the play Macbeth? It is related in foreshadowing. The fate of Macbeth is going to be just like the fate of the previous Cawdor. Okay. So that's so when the king will say that he was a man on whom I had built an absolute trust, he is ironic, and there will be the timing of Shakespeare at such a moment, at such an instant, the new Thane of Cawdor, Macbeth, will arrive, and the king is going to show his gratitude to him, saying that because he is quite grateful to the new Thane of Cawdor, who is Macbeth, he is going to invite himself to the castle of Macbeth. He will be a guest at the castle of Macbeth. Because of that, Macbeth has hurried to go to his castle in order to prepare everything for the banquet. Okay. In scene 5, we can see that Lady Macbeth is reading the letter, and she is being quite happy at hearing the news that the Weird Sisters have greeted Macbeth with such titles: the Thane of Cawdor, the Thane of Glamis, the Thane of Cawdor, and the King of Scotland later on. That's why she is quite ready to receive Macbeth and to put in him her evil spirits, so that she will raise his spirits, and so that she will be able to motivate him to kill the king, and by that they are going to live a very tranquil life, a very quiet, calm life, a life of serenity, the life of a king and queen as she thinks, which is, of course, ironic. Then the messenger has told her that the king is coming that night, and Lady Macbeth is shocked at hearing that, and then she is quite happy because of that. After that, there is the coming of Macbeth, and Macbeth is telling her that the king comes here tonight, and Lady Macbeth is quite happy, telling him that the king will not see the morning of the next day, because he should be killed in their own castle because it is a golden opportunity to them to kill the king there. So the scene has ended, scene 5, right? And we have got this speech. Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my lord, is as a book wherein everything is going to be read. So we have got the idea of Lady Macbeth, the idea of seeming and being. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome and goodness and love in your own face, but be the serpent under it. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. So we have got the instructions of Lady Macbeth to Macbeth how he should show hypocrisy in front of people, how he should show outward appearance that is in harmony with the that is in contrast with the inward, with what is there inside himself, inside his heart. He should show loving face, good-heartedness in front of his face. He should not show fear and hesitation in front of people so that no one will suspect him when after he will kill the king. So Macbeth has made up his mind. Macbeth is not satisfied with that idea of Lady Macbeth. He is still hesitant. He is still thinking reasonably. He is still reasonable. Macbeth is still logical and reasonable, having reason in his mind. So he is telling her that they will speak later on about that matter of killing the king. But Lady Macbeth is telling him only look up clear, to alter favor never is to fear, which means he should look up clear in his face and in his mind so that he can think quite seriously and well of how to kill the king, so that he can show no fear in his face in front of people, and by that no one is going to doubt him. And she tells him, leave all the rest to me. And it is true, Lady Macbeth is going to prepare everything needed for killing the king. Well, we have now scene 6. Scene 6, the beginning of it, this page is going to be different. Can you see? Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. Can you see, during the previous scenes, you have identified yourself with the main characters, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. As Macbeth has been quite tortured in great conflict and confused, you also have got tension in your nerves, right? So, the beginning of scene 6 is different. It is going to relieve you. How? We have new characters. There is a shift in time and place, change in time and place and characters, right? The King Duncan now has reached the castle of Macbeth. So he is speaking about the castle has a pleasant air, a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. What does he say? How does he feel? The King Duncan feels, yes?
King Duncan, when he
Iman Ali. Yes?
So he said that so that made him to feel happy and rest in this castle. But in this there is irony because
Yes.
the king Duncan, he doesn't know that he will place his death in this place.
Yes, that's right. Good. Now the king feels quite restful, quite relieved, quite comfortable. He can breathe the fresh, sweet, nice air, the delicate air that is there in the castle of Macbeth, that is situated where? The castle of Macbeth is situated in or at? نعم. At Inverness. Good. The castle of Macbeth, what's your name? نعم. حلا. حلا صدام. Yes. The castle of Macbeth is situated at Inverness, a place that is called Inverness. It seems that it is located in a good location and the weather is quite nice, and the king, I think, we think, you think, because of the great happiness of the king, because of his great gratitude to Macbeth, because he has invited himself to be a guest at the castle of Macbeth in order to show his great thanks to Macbeth, the king is quite relieved and comfortable, and that's why he is feeling such a nice feeling. But he does not know that this is the last feeling that he is going to feel, and this is his last day, because soon he is in the night, he is going to be assassinated, killed by Macbeth in this fine place, a beautiful place, which he thinks that it is quite nice and beautiful. So he does not know that such a nice, beautiful place is going to be the place of his death. So that's why all the speeches between Duncan and Banquo, they are going to carry dramatic irony. Why? Because we, the audience, know that Macbeth has determined to kill the king, while they do not know that. Those characters, the king and Banquo and the others, they do not know that. أهلا وسهلا تفضل. But try not to be late. I have told you that at 12 o'clock there will be the lecture. Okay. You have got your excuse. Banquo also is approving of the King Duncan that it is in reality a good location, and there is even that bird of summer, etc. Then there is the entrance of Lady Macbeth, and the King Duncan is saying, see our honored hostess. He seems to be highly respecting the hostess. Who is she? Lady Macbeth, who is in reality, she is the motivator for killing the king. So again, there is a bitter dramatic irony in his speech, a bitter dramatic verbal irony. Irony that is said by words. Lady Macbeth, of course, he is welcoming her quite warmly, and Lady Macbeth also, she is greeting him wholeheartedly, showing her great loyalty to him. Then, the next page. The King Duncan is asking about where is Macbeth. We have told him to go before us. Yes, Iman?
The King Duncan asked Macbeth, tells him that Macbeth is preceded them and he go.
Yes, he has preceded them. He has exceeded them. He should have been reached before them. Father.
The king
Yes.
thought this irony.
Yes.
Dramatic irony, because the king thought that Macbeth he will go to this
Yes.
castle before to prepare for the banquet or to celebrate
Yes.
the victory of the battle. But in
Yes.
reality, he got to prepare the plan with his wife to how to kill the king.
Yes, that's right. So it means that we need to include this speech. Why? The King Duncan is saying, where's the Thane of Cawdor? It is the speech, the line number, Act 1, Scene 6, line number 20, till 25. Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We caused him at the hills. It means, where is Macbeth? We have come quite quickly in order to see him, and had a purpose to be his purveyor. And we are glad to go after him. But he rides well. It seems that he is faster than us, and he has come before us, and his great love, sharp as his spur, has helped him to his home before us. It means that because of his great love to us, to the king, because of the great love of Macbeth, the new Thane of Cawdor, to the King Duncan, Macbeth has been faster than them, and he has exceeded them in speed, and he has reached his home, his castle, before the king. Why? The king thinks that it is because of his great love to the king. He has come quite quickly in order to make everything prepared to the banquet of the king. But in reality, this is ironic. Yes? Again, this is an example of dramatic irony.
As a matter of fact, he's going to kill him. He's preparing to kill the king.
Yes? Yes? Macbeth has come quite quickly in order to discuss the matter with his wife, how to kill the king, how to assassinate him, rather than what to prepare for the feast. I mean, the food and drink, etc. Right. Good. What's your name? Aus. Are you evening class or morning? Morning. Aus. Good. Then he tells her, fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight. Which means, can you explain this speech? Yes?
In my opinion, this is irony because
Yes.
she is not noble, she is a traitor. But
Yes.
she is showing him her loyalty toward him.
Yes, she's quite courteous to him, showing her great loyalty to him. So she is showing hypocrisy. She is hypocrite and she is courteous to the king. She is in reality lying. She does not love the king because she intends to kill the king with Macbeth, right? So there is irony. Yes?
It's verbal irony.
It is what kind of irony? It is verbal irony. Irony that is said by words.
Yes.
الirony اللفظية نسميها verbal irony. Yes?
Ladies, Macbeth planning it will
Yes?
kill the king. She's
Yes.
planning. She is not going to do that good or to dislike.
Yes, that's right. By saying noble, fair and noble hostess.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. يا أهلا ومرحبا. كل الهلا. أهلا وسهلا. شلونك؟ ما شاء الله. هل راح ترجع تدرسوا؟
سنخشطنا المسائل
يعني-
صراحة يهمني. بس
Yeah, it is a pity that you are not going to teach them,
Yeah, we see them at the party إن شاء الله.
so that we will cooperate,
Yeah, sure.
both of us.
Yeah, sure إن شاء الله. I'm ready.
اوكي
Yeah, see you
ان
إن
شاء الله. يا اهلا وسهلا. كل الهلا. That's right. Dalia.
And
Dalia, yes?
at the end of the speech, the king tells her they will be the guests of the end
Yes.
of the speech.
The last speech, you mean? The last speech of the king, which says, فمعناها, from this scene we have got only 3 speeches. Have you marked them? The first speech of Duncan, and then we have got this speech, the line number 20, and the last speech of him, the line number 27. The King Duncan is saying, give me your hand, conduct me to mine host, we love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him by your leave, hostess. So, here again, Dalia.
At the end of the speech, the king tells Lady Sandwich she is going to be the guest of the food.
Yes, yes. The king is telling her that he is their guest that night, and he is telling her that lead me to where Macbeth is, because we really love him, as he says. He says that he really loves him, and because of his great love to Macbeth, he is going to reward him more and more. How will the king reward him, do you think? What's your name, Aini? Maryam Khalid. Right. How will the king reward the king more and more? What other reward will the king give to Macbeth? Yes? He has come to the castle, and he is promising that he is going to reward Macbeth more. We love him highly, he says. Conduct me to mine host. Who is his host? Who is his host? Macbeth. Lead me to where Macbeth is. We love him highly. He loves him greatly. And shall continue our graces towards him. How will he give another grace or many other graces to Macbeth?
I think he will stay with him at night.
Because he is invited as a guest with him, so he is going to sit with him, a friendly sitting. Is this a great grace? What else? Yes?
Anyone can give him a promotion or something like that.
He is promising that he is going to promote him, to give him another promotion, which is?
I guess they'll make him the same of Cordell.
He has made him the fame of Cordell.
In my opinion, he's told with him when the actor on the stage get the place, I think. No. Yes.
No.
I mean, the king, Macbeth is still talking with the king.
Yes?
Yes. When the characters trying to stay on the place, another place of the play, I think.
No. What about? No. How will the king give another grace to Macbeth? Do you think that the king is going to give more graces to Macbeth by his coming there to the castle of Macbeth? Or in the future?
No.
No. Why?
Because he's gonna die.
Why not? Because he is going to die.
He's gonna die.
So if he will die,
And no promotion.
so if he will die, it means that by the death of the king itself is a great gift to Macbeth, right? So the king has come to his own death, to his own end by his own legs. So the king is going to be killed by Macbeth. So by saying so, there seems to be a bitter tragic irony, because the king does not know that unconsciously he is providing himself as a great meal as a great bait to Macbeth. He is going to give to sacrifice all his life to Macbeth. By his death, by his assassination, by the hands of Macbeth, the king has given a great grace to Macbeth. Macbeth is going to be a king. By coming there to the castle of Macbeth, the king will be killed. By that, Macbeth is going to be the king instead. So, unconsciously, the king is quite honest with what he says. We are going to get realism in what he says, truth in what he says. Yes, Iman Ali?
Macbeth, when he hears the news that the king comes to their castle, she considered that as a golden opportunity to achieve their aim
Yes.
or their goal to go to the king.
Yes.
So she said that this goal, the opportunity, she comes quickly or faster than
She will tell him that this is a golden opportunity. So that's right. It is really a golden opportunity, and the king is going to be killed, and by that, the Macbeth is going to be a king instead. Yes. So it means that again the speech. So why have we got? لماذا هذا السبيش داخل؟ السبيش قبله داخل. Because it has got dramatic significance. The dramatic significance is that there is a bitter tragic irony in the speech, because the king unconsciously is going to provide himself as a prey, a victim to Macbeth. And Macbeth will be a king instead of him. Well, this is how, by your leave, hostess, he is asking her to excuse him. He is going to go and see Macbeth. This is how the scene has ended. Do you have any question? Comment?
Yes, I have.
Yes.
There is something I want to tell you about the irony. When Lady Macbeth, I think she is ironic because she is every time appear show her personality.
Yes.
But
Yes.
she is always doing like this. Okay, on
Yes.
Macbeth, hey Macbeth, the other king, the other king, the other king, and
So-
he's
This is in the next scene.
Next scene, okay.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know, but because I read till all.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. But we can get from your comment the idea that it is true that Lady Macbeth is showing her hypocrisy when she seems to be quite courteous, quite loyal to the king. In reality, she is not loyal. She is lying. She is showing her great hypocrisy in front of the king and in front of you, the audience. Right. تفضلي. تفضل. Right. So now we are going to have a very important scene. Why is it important? Because this scene is going to decide. It is going to decide whether Macbeth will kill the king or not. In this scene, Macbeth is going to think thoughtfully and for a long time and logically and quite reasonably, and he will get a good conclusion, a good decision, a certain logical decision that he is not going to kill the king. But Lady Macbeth is going to change his idea by her great skill and her motivation. And then there will be another decision that is contrary to the first decision of Macbeth. Macbeth is going to say at the end of the scene, I am settled. Each corporal agent to this terrible feat, away and mark the time with fairest shore. False face must hide what the false heart doth not. It means that Macbeth is going to learn throughout such lines in this scene how to be quite hypocrite, how to show love and good emotions in his face to others, while in reality he will hide his wicked intentions of killing the king. It means that those lines show how Macbeth has been a very successful student to Lady Macbeth. How Lady Macbeth has been a very influential, skillful teacher to Macbeth.
Which lines these?
They are the lines, the end of the scene. The last lines in the scene. The lines number 80 till the end, 80 till 84. Page 49. Act 1, scene 7. Okay. So we are going to begin the scene. The scene begins with Macbeth is he is not alone. There is a side. شوفون the stage directions. نعم. المنبه. You are the reminder. No, I don't think so. It is not finished yet. It is not 1 o'clock yet. Okay. The students who want to leave, they can leave. But I'm going to continue. For a quarter of an hour. For more 15 minutes. I'm going to continue for more 15 minutes. يعني, yes, it is. They are 2 lectures. Yeah, what's your name, Mahmoud? What's his name? What's your name? أشو اسمه زميلكم؟ Omid? You are Omid. I have got Mahmoud in the higher studies in geography. He is similar to you in appearance. وهو ممثل الشعبة. فتصورتوك أنت أيضا ممثل الشعبة لأن أنت اللي عم تنبهني دائما على الوقت. هل أنت ممثل الشعبة أوميد؟ جيد. So I hope that you are going to complete your studies just like Mahmoud in the Department of Geography. Inshallah. And all of you.
I guess we use here fame of appearance.
Yes. So here lies, there is another example in Omid, the theme of appearance. Yes. He appears to be just like Mahmoud, but in reality, he is not. Right. So I'm going to continue this next scene. Scene 7. Can you see the stage directions are going to be quite important? What is the function? There will be a question that will be raised. What is the function, or what are the functions of the stage directions in a play? Here we have got a kind of stage direction that is telling us that there is a side. It means that Macbeth now is not alone on the stage. There are other characters, many servants are coming and going, and they are preparing for the feast. And Macbeth also is there in the hall in his castle. He is speaking with himself, supposing that those other characters are not hearing him. You, the audience, only are hearing him in order to excuse him for the sin that he is going to commit. Because of that, because you are going to justify his deed, his sin of the assassination of the king, you are going to say that, well, he has got an excuse, he is good by nature, but he is having that hamartia in himself, which is his over-ambition, and the motivation of Lady Macbeth, and the motivation of the witches. That's why he has been quite weak, and he has he has been wrong and killed the king, committed a sin of killing the king. Yes, Muhammad? Again, I have got another student called Muhammad Abdul Ghani in at the Department of Geography. Again, the higher studies. Yes, Muhammad Abdul Ghani.
So, if Macbeth was truly a good man, then why did he kill his own friend, Banquo? Okay, we get the idea that Macbeth killed King Duncan.
Yes. Yes. Okay, the question is for you, students. Yes. Why will Macbeth go on? Do you mean that Macbeth is going to go on in his killing, in his crimes? He is going to kill a second murder, a second sin is that he is going to kill his son, his friend Banquo. Yes, that's right. Why?
Because
Yes.
Because he knew from the witches that he has.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Because he knows quite well that Banquo has been with him and he has known about the witches' prophecies. It means that Banquo will doubt Macbeth, will suspect that it is Macbeth who has killed the king.
Yeah, this is the point. We already mentioned that Macbeth is a good person.
Yes.
He didn't want to kill the king.
Yes.
But his wife put her evil spirits in his mind and
Yes.
heart.
So as soon
And
as
pushed him to kill the king.
yes, that's right.
Then why
So,
Banquo?
so why has he killed Banquo? Of course, in order to ensure his seat of being a king, to ensure the crown of him, in order to keep himself as a king, he should be safe. So he should kill any person whom will have a suspicion, or whom will have a kind of doubt against him.
He got too far with this.
So-
too much for a good person.
He has been good by nature, but as soon as he has committed a sin, he has been accustomed to committing sins. Any person who is going to commit a crime, he is going to get accustomed, and he will commit a crime after a crime, just in order to avoid any danger from others. He is thinking that Banquo will be a danger against him, a threat against him. So that's why he has killed him.
No,
Yes?
He's like swimming in a bloody river. He can't-
So he is going to portray himself, to draw himself, to say that he is just like a person who is wading in the river of blood. To go forward is as tedious as going backward. So مثل نابليون. يعني he is in the middle. He is in the middle of crime, in the middle of the river of blood. If he will go forward, it is quite difficult. If he will stagger back and go backwards, again there are other enemies. So he should go forward. He should go and go. So as he will go forward, he is going to kill every person that will stand against him. So this is the condition of Macbeth. This is where he has reached. He has reached such a condition. That's why he has got an inner conflict within himself. He wants to repent, to regret his deed, but he can see that it is too late. So that's why he goes on in his crimes. Well, we are going to have the scene. Macbeth now is having his aside say. If it were done, it is good that it will be done quickly. It means, yes?
if we know
This species
About it, the pronoun it refers to the assassination.
If you want to not the king, you want
Yes.
to read that quickly because he has a inner conflict
Yes.
inside himself because
Yes.
you know that it's a crime, it's a sin, and that's
Yes.
wrong.
Yes, that's right. So Macbeth is saying, if it were done, يعني, if the murder of the king will be committed, when it is done, then it were well, it is going to be quite good to him, comfortable to him. If it were done quickly, if he is going, يعني, if he will decide to kill the king, he should be at hurry. He should kill the king quite fast, quite hurriedly, quite quickly, so that he will get rid of the tension inside him, the torture inside his mind. Muhammad.
This is a dramatic irony. Macbeth does not know that this crime will lead him to
will lead him to commit another and more crimes. Good. That's right. Yes? Shall I add? Yes? Anything? Yes?
If he killed the king and finish this, this crime,
yes.
he will release from this torture.
Yes. He thinks that he is going to be at release.
He don't know that
yes.
This is the beginning of his torture.
Yes. He does not know that this is going to be the beginning of new torture. Yes. That's right. So you have elaborated what Muhammad has said. That's right. So he is going to elaborate, to explain. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his Cersei's success, but this blow, it means that Macbeth is saying that if the assassination, the murder, is going to be the end and the only blow, but this one murder, one sin, and that's all, and it is going to be the only one, might be the be-all and the end-all. If this is going to be the first crime and the last one, the only one, then it is going to be quite good to him. This is what he is saying. But here, upon this bang and shoal of time, he says, he is saying that here, in this world, in the present world, في الحياة الدنيا, الحياة الدنيا تشبه به, this world is going to be compared to this narrow area, to this narrow place. So he is saying that. But here upon this bang and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. He's saying that even in this life, yes?
This is Macbeth says that this life is very short and brief. He believes that there will be an afterday.
Yes, he knows quite well, he is aware of the afterlife, of the second life after death, the rebirth after death.
Yeah,
yes?
And there will be a day of judgment.
And there will be there, during the second world, the second life, there will be a day of judgment to him. That's right. So he believes quite well that he is going to be judged during the present time when he is alive in this world, and he is going to be judged and punished during the second world. That's right. We still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. What does he mean here? وكم علمته نظم القوافي فلما اشتد ساعده رماني. Yes? Yes? No, he's not saying that he's going to kill him. No, I am not going to kill him. It is true that he is teaching bloody instructions to others. يعني, he is a warrior and he is showing others how to fight in battles. But being taught after they are going to grow up as great warriors like him and even more skillful than him, they are going to kill him. يعني كما تدين تدان. As he is going to kill somebody, he is going to be killed. When he will kill the king, there will be another person who is still لا زال فتى. مثلا Malcolm. He is going to grow up, he will be skillful like him or more skillful than him, and he is going to kill Macbeth. So this is what he says. Yes? نعم. نعم. He is speaking in a logical way, and there are certain moral lessons in what he says. That's right. That's right. So Macbeth now is thinking reasonably. Why? He says, because of this even-handed justice commends its ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. This even-handed justice, ميزان العدالة, commends itself. يعني, if there will be a certain shaking in one of the balance, there will be a shaking in the other. So it means that if Macbeth will kill somebody, another person is going to kill him, because there is justice on this earth. Then he is going to say, he is here in double trust. Why? Who is he?
King.
The king, Duncan, is here in the castle of Macbeth in double trust. How? يعني, he should be safe.
Yes.
Why? Because, yes?
Because the king, Duncan is...
First, he is a king.
He is a king, and Duncan have full trust in Macbeth.
Yes.
So,
First, he is a king, and the king is having great trust in his people.
yes.
Yes? Second and third, yes?
Macbeth and his lady showed him to the king like they love him and they support him.
Yes?
They
Yes?
show him the lovely face.
Because Macbeth
They speak to him.
So you mean that they are fake to him? They are going to be fake to him, to be false to him. Yes? What do you say?
يعني هو قال double trust because first he is a king and Macbeth
second-
is a cousin.
And second, he is his cousin. Yes?
Yes.
And third, yes?
He is a visitor in Macbeth's castle.
He is?
Yes.
He is the guest.
Yes.
And third, he is the guest.
And even his own ambition isn't enough for killing them.
Yes. And then he is going to say that I have got nothing except vaulting ambition. That over ambition is not a good enough, sufficient excuse to make him kill the king. That's right. Yes?
The over-ambition is not enough to him.
Will not be enough to kill him, to kill the king.
Yes.
Yes?
It means that he's wanting for Macbeth to kill the king.
Yes, that's right.
And I think
Hisham, in addition to, what's your name, عيني? أنت الشاب مصطفى.
and I think
و what's your name؟ ولو هسه ما جاوبتي بعد يعني على هذا الموضوع، جاوبتي على الموضوع اللي قبله. What's your name؟ غفران أحمد. Well, what's your answer now?
and I think Macbeth protect the king all his life. Then the king trust him and believe him.
Yes. So you mean that Macbeth is a person who is considered one of the population who should respect the king, because the king is their king, and the king is considered in the Elizabethan times just like God on earth. He is highly appreciated, glorified, respected. and loved by his own people. In addition to that, the king is quite fair. So every person loves him. Okay, right, Ofran. Who else? What's your name? ما يخالف هي مشاركة. مريم أحمد. Right. Well, now Macbeth is saying that the king is there in double trust. How? First, as I am his kinsman and his subject. He is his kinsman, يعني his relative. How is he his relative? Al-Masai, they have answered yesterday. What about you, the morning class?
His cousin.
He is his cousin. How?
Their mother are sisters.
Both mothers are sisters. Good. You have got a very good reference, which is the book of the Notes of Sabri, and you can answer quite well, right?
I think the Sabri's handout is really complicated, unlike Yusuf's one.
Okay. Any notes that you want, you can depend on. My opinion is that you can yourselves write down the notes of the lectures of this year better than the previous years. And it is up to you. Right. So he is his relative because he is his cousin. Both mothers are sisters. The mother of the King Duncan and the mother of Macbeth, they are sisters. What else? And his subject, يعني Macbeth is a follower to the king. He is the king is his king, so he is his subject. It means that strong both against the deal. It means that he should be loyal to the king. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Another reason, a third reason is that he is his host. It means that he should protect the guest of him. The king is the guest of Macbeth, so he should protect him rather than show a knife in front of him or kill him. Then he says, besides, this Duncan had borne his faculties so meek, had been so clear in his great office, that the virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. What does he mean? He means that the king is quite fair, is quite just in his reigning his kingdom, in his running his kingdom, to the extent that every person is going to revolt against the taking him off, against his killing. They will plead like angels. And pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven cherubim horsed upon the sightless courtiers of the air. What will pity do? People are going to pity the king. How? There is an image, and the image is explained here. You need to return to this page in order to understand the meaning of the aside of Macbeth. So this page, it is page 42. It is carrying the whole explanation of all the images that are used in this speech. Yes?
People will fight on the death of the king, and they will revolt against Macbeth. So it will be a chaos in Scotland that maybe will destroy everything.
Yes. People are going to pity the King Duncan. So they are going to cry. The cry of them is going to be similar to a river of tears. And that river of tears is going to drown them, is going to drown people, because there will be a very huge river because of the great number of people who are going to cry for the death of the king. So it means that the king is too much loved by his people. So it means that that tears shall drown the wind. The tears are going to drown even the wind. Even the wind is going to be drowned by the tears of people. Then he is going to conclude that I have no spur. So we have got the last lines, the lines 25. I have no spur, يعني spur. I have got no desire. I have got no motivation except vaulting ambition. The motivation of him is the vaulting ambition which overleaps itself and fall on the other. Here, where is the image? What image do you have? Try to search for the image. What image is the king using by saying that he has got only vaulting ambition which is going to overleap itself and fall on the other? On the other what?
It's like a downfall.
Yes?
It's like a downfall.
Like the downfall of people. How? They are going to fall from where? From a horse. Good. Yes? Because we have got the image of a person who is riding a horse. He is going to put his leg on the saddle and the other leg should be put on the other side, right? But that ambition is just like a person who is going to ride a horse. He is going to put one leg on the saddle, but he is not going to be able, he is going to miss the other. He will fall on the other side. So it means that vaulting ambition, over ambition, is not enough for Macbeth to kill the king. So this is the conclusion of the aside of the long thoughts of Macbeth. So Lady Macbeth will enter. How now? What news? And he will tell her, has he, where is he, etc. Has he asked for me? And Macbeth is going to tell her. He is going to tell her in the next page, 45, he will tell her that we will proceed no further in this business. Why? He is going to be quite logical, even he is giving his own reasons, saying that he has given me golden opinions quite recently by making me the Thane of Cawdor, and I am going to lose them if I am going to kill the king. Okay, that's all, students. We are going to continue, inshallah, next Monday. Till that time, I wish you all the best. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Well, where have we been last lecture? I think we are in scene 5, right? So, first of all, write down your name on a piece of paper. Here is the paper. And second.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. تفضل. المسائي واحد والصباحي واحد.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. تفضلوا عين. تفضل. سجلي التاريخ. You have asked about, first of all, the morning class. You have asked about